Hello, welcome back to the Morrissey and Wine podcast. My name is George.
I'm Chris.
And if you love Morrissey and the Smiths, then you have come to the right place. Me and Chris are both really big Morrissey and Smiths fans. And this podcast is an hour and 20 minutes of slow, considered conversation about Morrissey and the Smiths, the man, the music, the myth, the legend.
The God.
Yes. And it's my favourite time of the month doing this, coming into the studio with Gary and you.
Yep.
And I'm really happy to be back. So shall I tell you what?
What's first? What we got first?
Okay, so we're going to have a discussion about whether it's time to uncancel Morrissey. And I think there's a really good case that you can make for this. Another way of putting it is it time to rehabilitate Morrissey's public image?
Well, has he been cancelled? I mean, he sold out the Co-op Arena in Manchester, so...
Yes, well, that's what we need to talk about. It's another central question. Has he been cancelled? Has he been semi-cancelled? I'm going to try and make an argument to say it's time to bring him back into the mainstream fold. And I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, Chris, and what you think at home. What else have we got, Chris?
So next, it's the trivia quiz. So we every month we do 10 questions. We quiz each other, take it in turns. Last month, how did you do, George?
Oh, I think I got like 2, didn't I?
I think it's a bit better than 2, but still it was quite pitiful. Yeah.
That's because Chris didn't do the quiz properly.
Apparently there's a method.
Okay, we've also got Nanny Val. That's my grandma. She's going to come into the studio and react to a track.
Do we know the track yet? We're still waiting on that.
We never know the track.
No.
She tells us when she comes into the studio.
Okay.
But they're suggested by our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah. Then we're going to analyse a song. This time, the lyrics of a song. This time it's I Wish You Lonely.
Yes, which we've picked because it's on Morrissey's current set list in 2025. And I think there's some interesting stuff we can get into on that. Then we've got If You Love Morrissey, Then You'll Love This. So some recommendations of things that we really like. And we think if you like Morrissey and the Smiths, you'll like this too.
Yeah. So first of all, shall we open the wine?
Open the wine, yeah. Do you want to do the honours, Chris?
Of course.
So we've got, as always, a red and a white. Let me grab these tasting notes. So you're pouring the white now. This is an Abbott's and Delaunay Chardonnay. Chardonnay is my favourite. Although Chris is, well, my friend as well, Carolina from Sweden, is also a Morrissey Smiths fan. She taught me the phrase ABC, which is anything but Chardonnay.
Oh, really?
It's considered by wine experts to not be very good, I think. But anyway, Lauren Delaunay, it says here, is a talented winemaker and 5th generation Burgundy wine producer. So in this wine, we're looking out for aromas of white flowers, pear, green apple, and hazelnut with delicious buttery notes. Oh, that's not good because I don't like buttery wine. Anyway, I'm going to give this a go. And Chris, do you want to talk through yours, which is the red wine?
Yes, yeah. So this time I did actually go for a non-alcoholic wine.
Boo.
I know. Well, you always have the non-alcoholic, don't you? So it's a Pinot Noir.
Yes.
And there was only 2 in the shop, and it was the one that the guy didn't recommend because George always forgets a corkscrew, so we had to go for a screw top.
Yes.
So what does it say?
It'll say near the end what kind of flavours you're looking out for.
So it's great alongside roasted chicken, apparently.
Ooh.
So they're all very.
I might be
meaty,
having a
aren't they?
roast dinner tonight, actually.
But obviously I wouldn't eat chicken.
No.
So blackcurrant, cherry, and sweet spices. So read any more of that, and I'll see if there's any.
Okay, you try that and tell me if you can notice the what was it? Honey,
No.
blackcurrant, cherry, and sweet spices. All the elegance you'd expect from a quality Pinot Noir. Apparently, what do you think?
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's really informative wine tasting, Chris.
I'm not a professional wine taster, but it's nice. Yeah, it's nice.
All right, we need.
It
to
just
go on
tastes
that
a bit
wine
like fruit
tasting
juice because
course.
there's no alcohol in it. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will say this is buttery. That's very true. Oh, by the way, these were both around £10, I think. Both of these bottles.
I think mine was a bit cheaper, £8, I think.
Well, non-alcoholic, it will be a little bit cheaper. Yeah. White flowers, pear, green apple, and hazelnut. I'm interested in the hazelnut angle. Let me have another taste. Yeah, I think I can taste that. But the thing is, they could write anything on these tasting notes, and I would go, "Oh yeah, I can taste cow's feet and oxtail."
Pigeon ears. I'm not sure. I think this is just tastes like Schlur.
Okay. All right. Well, we will move now into our conversation about whether it's time to uncancel Morrissey. And for now, we'll say cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to you at home. Let's get stuck in. Get stuck in.
This month, George suggested we talk about whether it's time to uncancel Morrissey. Is that right?
Yes. Because I'm noticing a change in the zeitgeist, in the societal current around Morrissey. So, especially with his most recent tour, he's been getting quite positive reviews. And another word that I would describe these reviews as is forgiving. They're sort of saying, yes, we have some problems with some aspects of Morrissey, but overall, the sheer force of his artistry and the quality of his output is overwhelming. And we just have to say, 4 stars, 5 stars, that was a fantastic concert. And I like to think that I'm quite conscious of the way that people's views change in the world and how society moves. And I suppose that's partly being a journalist. It's one of the skills you hopefully should have. I think that we're moving towards a place where Morrissey is coming back into the fold. And now the question we have to ask ourselves is, if we're saying, is it time to uncancel Morrissey? As you said earlier, we have to ask, was he ever cancelled at all?
I think that's my key thing, because I think Morrissey is uncancelable. I don't think he's being cancelled by. I think he's got a certain hardcore fan following, and the amount of other people, other singers, musicians, whatever, who love Morrissey and who Morrissey has inspired. I think it's just in the media, really. And does that really, just because the media says something, does that mean it is true, or does that mean they've been cancelled? And obviously there is people out there. There is and if you wear a Morrissey t-shirt to a club on a night out, somebody might say, "Oh, I don't like Morrissey very much," or something a bit worse than that. But yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing about the media is that it does feel like this time, because I've been to Morrissey shows for a while now, and there's been queues and people sleeping overnight a lot for all of those shows. Yeah. But this year, it felt like that was being covered, and there were stories about people camping outside. But I don't think that really has happened as much before. Maybe
I think it has happened in the Manchester Evening News.
Okay,
I do remember that a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's right to say, oh, it's just happening in the media, because whenever I see stories done by news titles and they're put on Facebook about Morrissey, there will always be comments from normal people saying, oh, he's a knobhead, or can't stand the guy, or whatever.
Who wants to be liked by normal people?
Well, so I don't think it's just the media. I mean, obviously the media does drive it, but the media doesn't act in a vacuum. It reflects what people think, or the best media does. It reflects what its audience thinks, and it puts it back to them in maybe a more factual way, a more nuanced way, whatever. But it's a reflection of what people already think.
But first of all, then, why? I suppose I know we took, because we said we were going to mention that we obviously talked about this in a previous episode, about people's views of Morrissey, and I think
that episode was called "Why Does Everybody Hate Morrissey?"
Yeah, and I think that normally when you ask people when they say initially they don't like Morrissey, they don't really have much of a reason why. Yeah. There's a couple of quotable things taken out of context which probably don't sound the best that people might say, but that's really it. Other than maybe that they just don't like him because he comes across very sure of himself in some interviews, and obviously very sure of his opinion, and which people don't like, do they?
Yeah,
because you need to be sort of shy and meek and sort of agreeable, I suppose, which he isn't, obviously.
Well, the thing,
agreeable.
That if you go back to listen to that episode of Why Does Everybody Hate Morrissey, we go through some of the main things that he's been kind of cancelled for, or semi-cancelled, or whatever, and the majority of them are nuanced opinions that have really been lifted from all contexts. There are a couple of things that he said, which I said at the time on the podcast. I think that was a stupid thing to say. I don't think it was very nice. And I think that the point is, everybody says silly things sometimes, and we all know that in private we say things that we would, be petrified to be heard out in the open. And the fact is that Morrissey has been interviewed his whole life. He's been interviewed hundreds of times. Through all of that, there will be things that you say that you may later regret, and you say, actually, that wasn't the best way of putting it. And Morrissey, especially in the last 15 years, has, in the current wave of cancel culture has always been with us, but it's in the current wave, in this new wave, he was one of the early victims, maybe victim isn't the right word, but one of the early targets
yeah,
of cancel culture. And I think as a society, we are starting to move forward and to say, well, was he? Should we really have cancelled him for that? Like, was it that bad? Can we contextualize it? Can we accept that not every public figure is a perfect angel sent down from heaven to guide us in some holy quest towards perfection and truth? That came out. I don't know where that came from, the back of my brain, but they're not that. They're people, right? And they make mistakes.
So does that mean that people who seemingly come across like that are just putting a bit of an act on? Because really, can anybody be like that? I mean, like, the things you naturally think, and yeah, because you said earlier things you wouldn't say in public.
Yeah.
But is it that Morris is true to himself and a bit more open about those things?
Yeah. Well, he said, didn't he? Lockjawed pop stars thicker than pig shit, nothing to convey. They're so scared to show intelligence it might smear their lovely careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the point you're making, isn't it?
Yeah. Because obviously they've got they've got sort of to protect their machine, or their the machine that is their stardom, and obviously there's lots of people relying on that. Whereas maybe Morrissey doesn't worry about that as much.
No. And of course, Morrissey has to shoulder some of the blame for the position that he's found himself in terms of public favour, because he does, I think, as Simon Armitage once said, he likes to throw a pebble in the pool and see what happens. Or as Nick Cave said recently, someone who takes more than a little pleasure in pissing people off. He does. So Morrissey can't go around claiming he's never done anything wrong and all this bad stuff is happening to me. To an extent, he knows what he's doing when he says these things that we might find distasteful. But I just think, I really hope that we're moving into a place in society now where we start to reevaluate some of the people that we cancelled. I mean, for example, the comedy writer Graham Linehan was an early person on the other side of the trans debate. He was kind of anti-trans, and he was so massively cancelled and couldn't get work and all this sort of stuff. Now he's being interviewed in mainstream newspapers, and people are starting to think, okay, well, you didn't deal with it very well. You were quite horrible in many ways to trans people, but you may have been coming from a place of a position that we could examine and listen to and help us form our own opinions. And I just see a lot of people being brought back into the fold.
Yeah, because a difference of opinion doesn't mean you can't be friends with somebody or you can't like them.
Because we're absolutely doomed if we silo everybody off who we disagree with, and we no platform people. I mean, I used to hate that at university, this whole no platformy thing. We need to listen, don't we?
Yeah.
And we need to say, we love Morrissey. We don't agree with everything that he's ever said. Why should we? Right? I mean, I'm sure you would say.
Well, it's not very Morrissey to have agreed with everything he said, is it? Really?
No.
Because he probably doesn't agree with things he said in the past occasionally.
Yeah. And in terms of like plays, you have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I think we're in the third act of Morrissey, and I want it to be a triumphant third act. Where one of these albums comes out soon, and critics say, actually, this is pretty good, and everyone starts to go, okay, right, well, maybe we just misjudged you. Maybe you're quite a clever, complicated, complex guy who says things that you have to think about more than just taking on face value. And the other thing is, what I like to say, Morrissey has been accused of sympathizing with the far right, for example. Well, we're not in a world anymore where people pretend not to like the far right when actually they do. People are pretty upfront about it now. I mean, for example, Italy is run by a prime minister who leads a far right party.
Yeah.
There's no need. If Morrissey really was a racist, xenophobic, far right believer, he wouldn't be hiding it. He would just say that he was, because there's no need to hide it anymore.
No.
But I don't think that's the case. I mean,
do you think people who believe these things and write them, they really think that's the case, or they just don't like him, so they want to pin this to him?
Well, you mean like a news article about
maybe news, or maybe just people who don't. Yeah, I think a lot of people who say they don't like him, it's almost like a bandwagon thing. It's just for some reason, for certain people, it's fashionable to say that you don't like Morrissey.
Yeah,
it's just a thing. But do you think people who write those things really think that's him, or they know it's a good headline? Or
well, I think normal people, I think that they usually just parrot and I do it as well. We all do it. We parrot what our friends think. So if most of my friends think that Robert Smith is a knobhead, for example, then I'll be tempted to say that and pass that along and keep saying it to other people. I think news articles,
Or the sheeple.
wake up, sheeple. The news articles, you can't blame the journalists for writing this stuff. If Morrissey says,
You'd say that.
if Morrissey says, as he did once, in reference to their treatment of animals in China, in some ways, or the Chinese are you have to question. I think he said you have to ask whether the Chinese are a subspecies. Like, you cannot blame a journalist for writing a story about that, because that's a really provocative thing to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, he was saying it in the sense, he was trying to say that if a country of people treat animals in such a way that is bad, then they'd rank lower than the animals that they're treating. So he used the word subspecies. He shouldn't have used that term. He should have found another way of saying it, in my opinion.
But then if he's, but obviously we know Morrissey is one of the biggest animal rights activists around, and if it really angers him, then maybe in that moment it probably is quite hard to hold that back.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're not as concerned about those things, it would be difficult to say. And it's hard to relate things to humans because people don't like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like when people say things about the way animals are treated, they relate that to the Holocaust and things. People obviously don't like that because naturally everyone, humans are superior to animals apparently, which is easy. It's easy to think that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Morrissey's statement there that I think was worded badly, and I think he should have found a better way of expressing it. But it comes from, there is a serious mode of thought called speciesism, which I think was invented by the philosopher Peter Singer, which is about how we are speciesist in the same way that we can be racist and these things. We believe that animals are lower down the pecking order than us, and therefore we use them and exploit them and treat them badly. So Morrissey said, he expressed a thought which is a recognized school of thought in philosophy, but he turned it into a horrible phrase that made him look really racist, but this is all part of what I'm saying. Can't we contextualize these things a bit more and say, yeah, we've all said things that we regret, we said things the wrong way, isn't it time to just sort of welcome Morrissey back into the fold a bit?
Yeah, and no one's perfect about what they say, are they?
So. No. And I just hope that this, as I said, this third act is that within Morrissey's lifetime, he sees that the public have generally come to accept him back and say, you know what, you've had a pretty good career and you make pretty good music, and you are part of the fabric of this country.
Do you think Morrissey needs that though?
He would love that.
I think he would want it because he does often make comments. Because at the Co-op Arena, the recent gig, he did mention about the Guardian and sort of, but I'm here and I've sold it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think in the past he's written about things sort of like I'm sorry I'm not the star that I could be, or something.
Yes.
There's certain things like that which make me think which is a shame to me, because I think I know a lot of Morrissey fans and I know how much we love him. So it's a shame that he needs to feel like he wants more, because yeah.
Well, every pop star wants to be adored as widely as possible, I think. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think Morrissey deserves it. And I think that we all just need to be a bit slower. Like we're trying to do this podcast, slow, considered conversation, just really contextualize and think and say, do we want to live in a world where all of our celebrities and pop stars are pretending to be moral, perfect moral beings that never do anything wrong? Or do we want to accept that we're human and we make mistakes and we learn and we grow,
Yeah. And I think that would be good, because a lot of Morrissey fans are Morrissey fans because they feel like he sticks to his values, his guns, and he doesn't just bend because he is worried he'll lose some fans.
Yeah,
I think some of the really sort of stalwart fans are because of how he is. He doesn't do, I think I said before, like adverts for everything. And he's not got a watch brand that he does, or a perfume.
Mozza watch.
Yeah, scent of Morrissey.
Fragrance of odor
of back
Moz.
bedroom Moz.
Well, Morrissey, if you do happen to be listening to this, I think that your third act is going to be triumphant, and I think everything is pointing in the right direction. So stay positive,
please.
So shall we? We'll leave that there.
Okay.
And next we're going to go into the quiz. 10 questions of trivia that I'm going to test Chris on, and you're going to hopefully do better than me last time. So shall we say
Can't
cheers?
be hard, can it? Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
And let's go into the quiz. Brr. Welcome back to Morrissey and Wine. We are going to do the quiz now. I think these questions are pretty good. I'm quite happy with them because some of them I think are kind of easier. Some of them are medium range. There might be one pretty hard one.
Okay.
You like a hard one, don't you? So what I'm going to do is play the quiz theme music, and I'll do my best impression of a game show host from the 90s doing a speak song. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I think Dale Winton.
Yes. Think Dale Winton, Julian Clary, and Graham Norton, and Paul O'Grady.
All together in a bed.
It's a novelty when they're not gay these days. This is your chance. Grasp the nettle and prove your mettle. There are people out there who know nothing of this trivia. You've waited all your life. It's quite sad if you stop and think. Never mind that, it's the Morrissey quiz. Oh God.
Not again, please, not again.
Reverb, is the reverb still on? No.
Echo.
No, it's not. Okay, so now you are in the mood for a quiz show.
Yes, yeah, definitely in the mood.
Okay, I'm going to bring up the questions. Do not look at the screen.
It's hard to, I'm not going to, but it is hard.
Yeah, well. Okay. Question number 1. Which fan club was Morrissey the president of?
So Morrissey was the president of the New York Dolls fan club.
Correct. I believe that that Morrissey met quite a few people, including a musician from The Clash and someone else who through this fan club. So he actually made friends with people who would turn out to be quite influential in music through the fan club.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So question number 2. Which motorway service station features in a Smith song?
So this is Newport Packnell.
Or okay, I'll give it to you.
Is that wrong?
It's Pagnell,
Pagnell.
not Packnell. Now you might want
I've been there.
Imagine that I'm a producer on The Chase, which is a popular quiz show in the UK. I would say to you, talk about why you're giving the answer a bit more, so you give people at home time to think of their answer. Don't just go straight into the answer.
Okay.
That's your note.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, question number 3. What was the highest track position of the Smiths' live album Rank?
I know this one did pretty well.
Yeah.
I've got a very fond memory of this album because it's one of the 3 Smiths records my dad had in the attic.
Okay.
So growing up, I had there was the debut album, there was Hand in Glove, which was obviously a very interesting cover.
The bottom,
yes.
a shiny bottom.
And then there was this one, and it did very well, but I don't think it quite got to the top. So I think it was pretty high. So I'm going to go for number 2.
Okay, you're going for number 2. Is it correct?
Oh,
yes, it is. So you got 3 out of 3 so far.
not bad, is it?
Yeah.
4 to beat from last month for you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So question number 4. What was the name of the band that Morrissey's nephew, Johnny Dwyer, set up, which is also the name of a Moz track? This is a you either know it or you don't question.
Yeah, and I don't.
Do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah, it's beautiful shimmering from the lights onto
Oh,
the
nice.
microphone. You don't know? Okay, well in that case, I'm afraid
It is. That's wrong.
Dum,
What was it?
You are going to die. The answer is Noise is the Best Revenge.
Noise is the best.
Do you know that song? You say noise, noise, noise.
Yes, I do know that one. Yeah,
It's like,
but I thought wasn't that what they were going to call Viva Hate? No, that was Education in Reverse, wasn't it?
yeah, Noise is the Best Revenge.
Yeah, I do know the song. Yeah,
Is a really good track, but I don't even think it was ever released. I think it was a
No,
BBC recording session that he
Yeah.
did it for. Maybe
it's like one of those ones we have to watch on YouTube.
Yeah, a lower quality, yeah. So you've got 3 out of 4 so far. Question number 5. Morrissey once said, should I do my impression? No.
Yeah, do it.
No, because it's so bad. Morrissey once said, yes, I am in love with the city of blank. Which city did he mention?
Um, I think I know this one.
Yeah.
I think it was a city in Italy.
Yes.
So I'm going to go for Rome
Correct.
because it wasn't Hartlepool, was it?
No, it was not. So you've got 4 out of 5 so far. You're doing very well. Question number 6. These things take time, which I understand is your favorite Smith song,
You understand?
was the B-side to which Smith's single?
Yeah, so I do know this one. So yeah, is my favourite Smith song, I
Yeah.
think. Although it's quite hard, but I do think it is. I think it was What Difference Does It Make? I hope.
Correct. 5 out of 6 so far. Question number 7. What was the name of the official, unofficial Morrissey website which launched in 2000 after starting life as a fanzine?
Yeah, so this one was, I think I'd been on it a couple of times, but it almost disappeared quite early on. When did it go away?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, but
Um,
don't have that information in my notes.
in your big melon of yours. I think it was, I think it's True to You. Yeah.
True to You. Yeah, let's have a look. Correct. There's True to You, which was run by Julia Riley. Interestingly, this podcast started as a fanzine. We started as the Morrissey Mercury fanzine.
Well, you did, then you wrote me into it.
I roped you in to do the podcast, and then we we retired the fanzine and we turned into a podcast. So it's kind of interesting that True to You also started as a fanzine. It was run by Julia Riley, the famous Julia.
Mm.
You know, I'm sure you remember. I don't think she goes to the gigs so much anymore, but for a long time she was at every single gig, and Morrissey would often hand the microphone to her to ask how the gig was going and stuff.
The kid.
The gig, how the gig.
But she's busy now doing her podcast, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got 6 out of 7 so far. Question number 8. What James song did the Smiths cover as a B-side to I Started Something I Couldn't Finish? The Gilded Beans. So it's a James song and the Smiths covered it.
Oh, I don't know.
No idea?
No.
Okay, well, I'm afraid it's the
Don't
Gong
like
of Death.
It's a Hell's Bells, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's 6 out of 8 so far.
Hell's
Is that
Bells.
right? Yeah, 6 out of 8. Question number 8. What was the name of the venue where Morrissey performed his debut solo concert?
I know where the city, but I don't know what the venue was called.
Well,
Wolverhampton.
the question is, what was the venue called?
Wolverhampton Dome. City Dome.
Wolverhampton City Dome is not correct.
What is it?
However, you were quite close. It's Wolverhampton City Hall.
So I get half a point for that.
No, you don't. So that was that's 7 out of 9 or 6 out of 9? No, 6 out of
7.
9. Something like that. Question number 10. 10th and final question. Which artist who was introduced to Morrissey by let me start again. Which artist who was interviewed
Introduced.
This wine is going to my head. Which artist who was introduced to Morrissey by Tony Visconti supported Morrissey in 2006 and 2007? I met her once in an elevator.
Her. So
Oh, damn. It is a woman.
Oh, I really don't know. I don't know. Joan Jett, it wasn't, but
No.
who was it?
It was Christine Young.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course.
I mean, I say I met her. I was in a lift with her. We were going to see Morrissey in Manchester, and we were staying at the Radisson Blu, I think it was, near the Co-op headquarters. And she was in the lift with us. And then the next day, I bumped into Boz Bora in the
you
lobby.
told me about that before, yeah, because he give you the
Well, what happened was I was at breakfast that morning after the gig, and I had my Morrissey t-shirt on, big bleach blonde quiff, and probably looked. You probably spot me if you walked into it looked quite striking.
Shocking.
Yeah, and I went up to get a pan of chocolat, and I came back to my table, and there was a set list on my table with the name torn off the top right of the sheet, so I didn't know whose set list it was. It would appear that one of the crew or one of the band thought, oh, this would be a nice thing. I'll give him a set list, but I don't want any credit for it.
That is nice. Yeah.
Very, very,
Yeah.
very sweet. And then to top it all off, I bumped into Boz Bora in the lobby, and I said, "Oh, great show, Boz. Really enjoyed it." And he was a bit like, "Oh, was it? I'm not so sure, you know." And I said, "Can you please find out who gave me the set list? Because I'd like to thank them." And unfortunately, I never got to the bottom of that mystery. But it was a very sweet thing.
It was a good day, and you had a pan of chocolate.
And a pan of chocolate, yeah.
So let's not distract ourselves. How well did I do?
I think you got 7 out of 10.
Was it 6 or 7? 7.
Oh, whatever. 6 or 7.
Still
which is
better than 4, wasn't it?
pretty good.
Yeah.
So let us know how you did at home. I think you've got a lot of people have a good chance of getting about 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 on that. Try to make the questions kind of achievable. Okay, all right. Well, I think next, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be talking to Nanny Val.
Yes.
So Nan is going to come into the studio very shortly, and she's going to tell us which song she's picked from the Patreon subscribers' suggestions.
Very excited for that.
Yes. So I guess I'll just say cheers.
Cheers, George.
Cheers to you at home, and let's say hello to Nanny Val.
Let's.
Oh, I do like to live beside the seaside.
Yorkshire.
Yeah, I think so.
Welcome back. We're here again with Nanny Val.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You good?
Yeah, all good.
It's a very hot day today in the UK, isn't it?
It is. It
It's
is.
very warm.
Sweating cobs.
So, as always, our Patreon subscribers have suggested some songs for you to react to, and I made a playlist for you, and you listened to all of them. And which was the one that you picked this time?
This is called Sunny.
Sunny. Okay, which was a single, I believe. Not on any album, I don't think.
No, it was a single, Morrissey and Alan White.
Yeah. Okay, so Nan, my impression of this song, it seems like Morrissey's lost a friend to drugs, and he's pining for this friend to get in touch and send a letter, and he's wondering how he's doing. Is that kind of your assessment of it? What did you think was going on in the song?
Yes, I looked in various places like Mozopedia and different things and online, and I came to the conclusion that it was probably about Andy Rourke.
Right.
When he first left because of drugs. Initially, I think Morrissey didn't know he was taking drugs, whereas Johnny Marr had been a friend since they were at school, and he was always aware, and the whole family, Andy Rourke's whole family, his brothers and his friends, everybody took drugs, cocaine especially.
Right.
But they kept it away from Morrissey.
Right.
And when he found out, they sent him away for a few weeks. He went over to his mum in Mallorca to try and get clean, and then came back. So that was the first time. And I think that would have been probably when this was originally written down as notes, because they obviously missed him a great deal, and obviously liked him a great deal, and they wanted him back in the Smiths. And so, because everything in this is not like Morrissey, usually he always talks in the first person, and it's all, we're really missing you, and you've only just gone, and everything is as if it's
a collective.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a sad song, isn't it? You feel a great sense of loss and sorrow, don't you?
Definitely.
But it's also got this kind of glossy pop kind of feel to it, hasn't it? It's definitely a pop song, but it's just very sad.
Yes, yeah. I suppose the actual song, although it was probably all noted down in his journals at the time, was probably not actually compiled till much later, I would imagine. Because obviously there was another big bust up, because he couldn't control his drugs. When he was touring, he tried to go to like Valium and things like that. And then of course he got really clumsy and, wasn't good. And I think it all kicked off in Ireland, and he was, they taught him out.
Right.
In fact, I laugh because it's not really laughable, is it? But Morrissey put a note on his car, and he said, "Andy, you've left the Smiths. Good luck and goodbye, Morrissey."
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Put it under his windscreen, and I thought that would be typical of him. Although I think it was someone, I feel that, because I couldn't find any reference to Sonny, and there's been speculation at some point it was like a boxer, like not Sonny Liston, but one of the boxers. But I read a lovely eulogy that Morrissey had wrote for Andy Rourke. And he mentions in there what a happy character he was, what a lovely character. Sorry, I'm looking for the actual words.
I've got your notes as always.
I've got them
Yeah.
actually, Nan, if you want me to read it.
The lyrics.
I've got the
he said he was
eulogy.
very, very funny and very happy, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I think it probably would be someone they missed as being a sunny member of the group,
Yes.
And obviously singing about quite a young person as well, so it could be that's the case. Have you listened to the song Kit? Not yet, probably.
No.
So this song and Kit do, to me, they've got links.
Parallels. Yeah.
Parallels, definitely parallels, because it's almost it's definitely about an untimely death or something like that. So maybe that's some homework. You can listen to that one.
Well, I don't think Sonny's dead in this song.
No.
Maybe not. No, but
Neither are they dead in Kit, actually.
no.
No, and actually he came back, didn't he? He left, he was with the Smiths from 82 to 87, and then he came back with Morrissey from 88 to 90.
Yes.
So, although I think Morrissey actually discarded him in 89, apparently.
Well, as he often does with musicians.
Yeah. But I mean, the you feel the pain when he's sort of trying to make excuses for him, although he's seen him with his belt wrapped around his arm, taking cocaine and that. It's
that
not.
would be heroin, I think.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's what he was on. He was on heroin.
George knows about these things.
No, he was on heroin.
Oh, it's just because he said cocaine.
Yeah,
I was just,
But it was like, oh, Sonny, my heart goes out to you. He wasn't condemning him. He was just. I've been in situations with people that were drug takers, and it's. You just feel useless. Absolutely, you can't help them. There's nothing you can do to when they're in that state. So I think he would. This is why he was asking at one point about him writing a nice letter and that. He wanted him to repent and come back into the fold,
I get this sense that this Sonny has sort of, maybe they've moved away with other people who aren't very good influence on them, and the family are at home waiting for just one letter to say everything's okay. And it is sad. Was there something about this song, because you obviously listened to all of them, was there something about this one that made you think, well, I'll discuss that one?
Yeah, I suppose. I suddenly, I never know quite what triggers me, but I sometimes just something relates to something I remember in my own life, something that's happened, and I think, oh yeah, I can identify with that. And I think Morrissey does this to everyone. I think this is why you relate, you all feel an individual emotion that he identifies in a song, so. And
the songs are just vague enough to you can read into them,
Yeah.
which is a skill, but not too vague that they're meaningless.
No. And as I say, that was the only reason I thought it probably was this incident, because of the fact that he's talking we, and he seldom does that.
Yeah.
It's not his modus operandi, is it, to talk as a group.
Although, interestingly, in the song that you said has parallels, Kit, he says, we'll order drinks for you.
Yeah.
We'll all be here for you. We'll pick you up and take you back home. I can see why you pointed that out as similar.
Yeah, there's definitely a link. And obviously there's drug reference to drug and sort of.
Yeah. And he says at the end, I'm here, I won't move. I'm here, I won't move. I'm here, I will not move. Like, I'll always be here for you.
Yes.
So.
I see you have some bracelets on the table there, Nan.
Yeah.
And are you wearing them too?
No, yeah, I've got my blue one on to go.
Can you hold it up for the camera?
This is made by Sophie, who's one of Morris's most ardent fans.
Can you hold it up for the camera?
Sorry. There.
Yeah, it looks brilliant.
That's that. That just says Moz and Nanny Val. Sorry. Sorry.
Gary's going like this off camera.
Higher, lower, higher.
And
Couple more.
here as well.
So Sophie made these, and she does really good YouTube videos. So she often records the whole show. I don't know how she does it. She must get our make. I would, but she did those for everybody. And I went to visit her home in South Wales, and it was like a Vietnamese sweatshop. There was just like bit stuff everywhere. It was I just expecting like
she's made them for people all over the world, hasn't she? Giving them to them at concerts.
Yeah.
But she
But she organises the lines. Is it the line you call it? The queue?
The queue, yeah.
The list is
the
the
list.
The list. Is that the word? She organises all of that at all the Morrissey concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't mess with Sophie's list.
So I think you need to grab the leaderboard, Chris.
Yes, yeah. So this is the leaderboard as we've got to know it. So last time we did, you have killed me.
You is dead.
You is dead. you is killed me. Ali G. And that did 27, which is quite high, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that did quite well. So let's... sorry about the this changing colour. We didn't think about that. I didn't think about that in the start. So can we rate this song?
I think it would be made. There's fewer words, it's sparser.
Yeah,
so
well,
there's-
very different to You've Killed Me, isn't it? This song
Yes,
in many
yeah,
ways, different
yeah.
time, but also a very different song.
Yes, so it's probably more like an 8.
So an 8 for lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for the music,
Can't quite remember. I think a 7 or 8. 7.
7.
Mhm.
Okay, 7 for the music, and
Voice was good. I like the voice. Again for this
we're
one.
going for that one then.
Sorry. A 9.
9. So add that up, George.
So what was it?
7, 8, 9.
7 plus 8 is 3. Felt like I'm on the weakest link.
Is that your calculator?
I'm gonna get my.
I always thought George was
Oh,
quite
come
clever.
on.
I thought he was quite
Tell
clever.
me again. 7
24
plus
whatever.
8.
That's your grandson. How embarrassing.
7 plus 8.
Plus 9.
Correct, Nan.
24.
24.
24. Well done. So actually, that's pretty low down on the list. It's okay. That's almost at the bottom.
That is at the bottom.
Almost as awful as Hold On to Your Friends.
Okay, but still, these are the 10 best songs that you've listened to.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
yeah.
tough competition.
Really
Oh,
tough. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we can ever pip Bonfire from the top spot, because that'd be 10s across the board to do that.
Yeah. I don't think you'd ever knock that one off for me because it was so meaningful.
Well, thank you for coming in again. That's been great.
Thank you.
Anything else from you, George?
No, until next time, we'll just say thank you, Nan, for coming along. Thank you for putting the time in, and we'll say cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, Nan.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Nanny Val.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Gary.
George.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Ciao for now.
So long, gay boys.
I wish you lonely, if only for one day, so that you might see routine for me since the day I was born. Think of yourself only, of everything you demand or you want or you.
So now we're going to analyse the lyrics of I Wish You Lonely.
Yes.
This is from Lowen High School, 2017.
Mm.
For me, this is quite poignant because it came out the year I moved to Manchester. The album did and the song did. And I knew I was moving to a bigger city because I wanted that. But at the same time, it was quite scary. And I moved into a house share and I didn't really know anyone. And I sat there thinking, with a cheap pizza from a takeaway the first night, thinking, why have I done this?
Cheap pizzas from takeaways are often the best, by the way. But yeah, so what did it give you a sense of strength, this song?
Yeah, because I suppose it did. Because I think also a big reason why I decided to move was because I wanted to be a little bit selfish and do something for me. And the song sort of gives you, it almost allows you to be like in that way, because it mentions the think of yourself only and
Yeah.
to hell with everybody else. Which obviously we don't all live like that most of the time, but sometimes I think it's quite important.
Yes, I think that. So just to recap, just before we address that point of the selfishness, which I want to go on to, "I Wish You Lonely" is essentially a song in which Morrissey says to someone who he thinks doesn't have a very good understanding of life, "I wish you lonely, if only for one day, so you can see what life is like for me every day." Maybe someone who's popular, has lots of friends, breezes through life. And Morrissey gives some advice. So circling back to the selfishness, he says, think of yourself only, whatever you need, want, whatever, to hell with everybody else. Morrissey, I think in later years, Morrissey has become more selfish. He's sort of promoting a selfish ideology, which you could perfectly well argue is fine. I think Anne Rand, have you heard of Anne Rand? She's was a philosopher and she's very popular in Silicon Valley, and she's all about, her ethical system is all about selfishness. So it's a perfectly valid point of view. But you can't really go around life only thinking of yourself, can you? To hell with everyone else.
Yeah, I do have a theory that people are generally selfish because, even when you do something nice for somebody else, it's because you get a good feeling out of that. So
Yeah.
generally humans are, I think, naturally like that.
Mm.
But I don't think that's the point. I don't think the point is that that you're being selfish for the sake of it or just to be sort of cruel to somebody else. It's because it's actually what you need sometimes as a person.
Yes.
And you need to be able to do what you need to do, whatever that is, even if that means you have to move away or be lonely sometimes as well.
Yes. Now, this song also has a reference to if ever let me actually, when he's talking about sleeping, sorry to
Okay, go ahead,
stop
find
all
that
my
line.
words. Remember how I can't sleep, or if ever I do, an earthquake wouldn't agitate. And then he goes on to say, I turn the key slowly. Now, I think he's saying, so there is a film that Morrissey likes called Turn the Key Softly. So I think that's a reference. I think it was a 50s British film. But there's also in Lenormand, which is an alternative to tarot, one of the symbols, one of the cards with the symbol is a key. And the key signifies unlocking new knowledge, opening a door, moving on to some other understanding. And I think that Morrissey is saying to this other person who he doesn't think very highly of, well, if you are going to become like me and if you are going to be selfish and be lonely, then turn the key slowly, because for me, I can't ever sleep. And when I do sleep, I can't wake up. It's not an easy life. But I think Morrissey's saying this is the true life to be like me. Because that's Morrissey's thing, isn't it? Is that he thinks he's got things pretty well sorted out. The way he sees the world is the right one.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it's quite a wide ranging song because it also moves on to ideas of governmental power, doesn't it? And he talks about oligarchs and heads of state who send people to war on a illusion of romance.
Yeah, but in this section then goes on to, so it's like 3 sections, isn't it, where it sort of repeats the same idea 3 times. So obviously the first time is about, how you could waste your life, I don't know, because somebody in a room somewhere decided that we need to do a war. I've been in a war. Or secondly, that the one around because of love, or romance gone wrong. And then thirdly, it's sort of drug related. So, you're giving yourself up to heroin or whatever that is. And that's, and it probably saying they're not the right things. That's not, that's almost not selfish in a way, maybe.
Yeah. It's a bit of a confusing song, in my opinion. There's a lot of different things going on, and I'm not sure that it's such a coherent idea. I'm not sure you can really go from A to B with this song and see a linear progression. Feels like Morrissey might have had 3 different songs that he was working on, and he shoved them all together. Because this
might be a pattern because he's put them together for a reason, I think. But
what is that reason?
Yeah, I don't know.
So basically, you're like a Christian who says God can never be at fault. Surely the great Morrissey would never just put 3 songs together.
No, I didn't say that. But yeah, and I think what obviously he's played this song in the 2025 tour on, I think, all the dates so far.
Yeah.
And it gets, for a relatively new song, it gets a really good reaction. But also the final line where humpback whales tracked by gunships from Bergen or Norway, and then in the audience everybody sort of punches their fist in the air, as Morrissey does, and that's quite special.
I mean, I do like the central idea of the song, which is saying to someone else, I wish you lonely. I wish that you were as lonely as me, because it's really hard. It is hard being lonely. I'm quite happy to be single these days, but I've worked to that place. I've trained myself to see the best in life, and now, to be honest, I think it would be quite hard to get a partner because I'm so used to my life on my own. But in my younger years, when I found being alone very difficult, I did feel very lonely, and I felt that other people who had girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff didn't really appreciate the struggle that is. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you've had lonely times.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of hours here or there.
On the odd Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Through this assertion, through this saying to someone, I wish you lonely, Morrissey is giving himself a sense of power. He's saying, I'm better than you because I do everything you do, but I'm also lonely.
But I can manage that as well.
Yes.
And also to own it And I think the point there, because he mentions if only for a day, it's almost like he's not being cruel enough to say have a lonely life, but just to experience it. And how would you cope?
I did know a very clever guy once who had a theory about romance, and he said it was linked to the Holy Grail. And he said that romance doesn't really come into our understanding of the world until, I think he said, about 1,000 years ago. We just didn't have this concept of romance. And so when Morrissey says romance gone wrong, I think that the soldiers are being promised the Holy Grail. If you come to fight, you can save our kingdom. That's the Holy Grail. And he's saying romance gone wrong. Romance as this quest for this unattainable romantic happiness is being dangled in front of the soldiers or even the drug addicts or whatever. Romance gone wrong seems to be a perversion of the motivation of finding the Holy Grail, finding that thing that will finally make you happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Morrissey is obviously very well read, but more in fiction and literature, movies and films, rather than philosophical stuff. And I would say, from my understanding,
Yeah, more sort of media, through the arts and things,
Yes.
with songs and films and things. Yeah, and
But
books.
he does often come up with ideas that I recognize from my studying of philosophy. Like, for example, in People Are the Same Everywhere, that is Hoist Me from the Herd and People Are the Same Everywhere. If you look at the lyrics of that song, they're very similar to some ideas of existentialism, and about how we all just copy each other and try to fit in, and the true authentic life is to be individual and break out, be scooped from the herd. So very often Morrissey says very, very clever things that I don't think he's read somewhere else. I think he just thinks them,
But he hasn't made them up for the first time.
No, but nothing is original
No,
anymore.
no.
I'm sure it ever has been. Although we are probably... No, we're not even the first Morrissey podcast, because another one launched around the same time when we launched.
Yeah.
So and he's a nice chap, by the way. We talked on email. So yeah, this song, Chris, is it one of your favorite or less favorite Morrissey tracks?
I do really like this one. Yeah, I think it's I like that it's in the set list for 2025. How about you?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a little bit muddled. As I said before, I feel like there's lots of different things going on, and I'm not quite sure what the central theme is. But I think it's very Morrissey. I also see that it has more than 1 million views on YouTube, which is really good. So it can't be that bad. I would put it as a mid-ranking Morrissey song for me.
Maybe slightly above that because of the reasons I said, that it hits me at a certain time, I think. So yeah, that was very interesting. So what we on next?
Well, next we are going to talk about things that you might like if you like Morrissey. Or sorry.
Before we go into that, how is the?
Oh, this is great.
Is it okay?
I'm enjoying it. I love a Chardonnay. Not too buttery, because I don't like the buttery ones. Even
It said buttery though, didn't it?
it did say it, but it's not too buttery. And how's your non-alcoholic Pinot?
It's nice because I told you I'm giving up alcohol.
Did you?
Yeah. So maybe I can stick to this.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, well, cool. Now, just before we move into If You Love Morrissey, Then You Love This, I'll just tell you about the Patreon.
Oh yeah.
So this Patreon costs £4.50 a month, or $5 if you're in the US. We have 5 benefits that you will get if you sign up for this Patreon. And by the way, this Patreon is basically just to help us afford to do the podcast. All the money goes into a pot that we use for the podcast, nothing else. Very tight governance procedures with that money.
Yeah. It's hard putting expenses claims in for that.
Yeah. So you'll get Chris and George Off Mic, which is a bonus monthly episode where we talk about subjects in a bit more detail and a bit more honesty and what we really think about stuff. You'll get full unedited interviews with our guests when we have guests. We don't have one this episode, but last time, for example, we had Mark Nevin, who co-wrote Kill Uncle, and the full interviews on the Patreon. You can join the exclusive members-only WhatsApp chat with about 100 other big fans of Morrissey and the Smiths who also love the podcast. Regular deliveries of Morrissey and Smith badges, which Chris makes at his humble home.
By my fair hand.
Yes. And finally, you can choose the song that Nanny Val reacts to next. You can put your suggestion forward. And because we don't have loads of Patreon members, there's quite a high chance that your song will get picked. So check out the description of this podcast to join the Patreon, or just Google Morrissey and Wine Patreon, Patreon, and you'll find it. So let's say cheers and go into...
Cheers.
If you love Morrissey, then you'll love this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're back.
To my parlour.
Now we are going to do the section where we talk about something. If you love Morrissey, you will love this, or you like this, or a recommendation. And George always makes fun of me because I often don't have one, or I really struggle for one, or I say
making fun of you is a very nice way of saying being really annoyed at you.
yeah, he's not disappointed.
Yes, because you don't have to think of one, but you do have one this time.
I do have one this time, but I'll let you go first because yours is always more considered, I'm sure.
Well, my recommendation this time is a documentary series which has just come out. It's called Shifty, Shifty. Shifty. It's by Adam Curtis. So Adam Curtis does these documentaries where he goes through the archives of the BBC and he pulls out archive footage and he pieces it together into quite a dreamlike, quite psychedelic kind of show. I think there's 5 episodes in Shifty. Now, a big reason why I'm mentioning it is because a clip of Morrissey is in this documentary series.
Okay.
Do you remember when he's talking about how his former family home had been knocked down and they all used to live next door to each other?
The old terraced houses, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite early footage, isn't it?
Yeah. And the idea of Shifty is that, well, there's 2 angles. The first one is that we are haunted by our past in this country. We can't move on. We have no vision for the future because all we ever do is look back at Top of the Pops from the 1980s, or what did David Bowie do, or what did Margaret Thatcher do. We have no idea what's coming in the future. And frankly, we're all scared of it. We're all terrified about the future. And so we sort of mollycoddle ourselves by constantly looking to the past, which is demonstrated through this documentary. But the other side of it is that what Adam Curtis is trying to get across is that we are so atomized in this society. We're so in our own little silos. There's no common culture anymore. There's no uniculture that brings everybody together. And he argues, therefore, how can democracy work if you can't sell a nation one dream? Then we're lost. And it's when you watch it, it's quite haunting because it skips from one archive bit to another, and you think, what's happening now? And at first glance, you might think, oh, this clip has got no context. But within the whole documentary itself, it does have a context. And it's definitely one for a sort of lazy Sunday afternoon. You wouldn't want to watch it.
It sounds it almost reminds me a bit of I've not seen it, so this is the first time you're telling me about it. The intros to some of the This Is England, where they've got like clips of things that have happened in the in the 86 or 88 or 90. Is it sort of those sort of
I guess
mashing
so.
together of clips?
Yeah, and it's through rearranging these archive clips, through rearranging history that Adam Curtis can put across his point of view. And I listened to an interview with Adam Curtis on The Rest is Entertainment, the podcast, and he's so clever, really, really clever. And I just think if you're that clever, then your thing that you make is going to be pretty good as well.
Really? So you could do anything and you think it was contemporary.
Probably.
What else has that Adam Curtis done? Remind me.
Gosh, I can't remember the titles of the previous stuff, but this is his thing. Can't remember what the other one's called, but
there's one called Hyper something, or was that a different person?
Yeah.
Hyper Realism, or was that something else?
maybe it was. But this is his style with the archive clips, and I would recommend giving it a watch. And now it's available on the iPlayer. On the BBC in the UK. I think you might be able to get it with a VPN in other countries. I'm not sure.
Maybe BritBox might have it.
I don't think BritBox will have it. So that's my recommendation. It's called Shifty. It's by Adam Curtis and it's on the BBC iPlayer.
It's a good one. I'm gonna listen to that.
Yeah,
watch that.
What about you?
So mine is it's a quick one. Because last month was a cookbook, vegan cookbook. This time I wanted to carry on with the theme of food.
Yeah.
And it's a pub in Wales, in Cwmbran, which is South Wales, and it's a vegan pub, so it's all vegan.
Right.
And Cwmbran is quite a small sort of town, villagey town, so it's not a big place. But this pub that's been there for years, it's called the Queen Inn, and it's I think the son of the owner of the pub, they did veganuary or something once, and it went down so well that all the menu is vegan.
Oh wow! Is it a big menu?
It's a really big menu, and the food's amazing. We know Sophie, my friend Sophie. She introduced me. She's from near there, and it's really good food, but it's and it's quite niche because you have to be able to go there. But even for me, I mean, it's like a 4.5 hour drive, but it's worth it when I do go down.
What did you have when you last went?
So Sophie also hates this because I have the same thing every time because it's so good. It's toe fish, so vegan fish and chips basically.
Okay.
But it's obviously it's often vegan fish is like, it's made of like whatever it's made of, but this is made of tofu, so it's good in high in protein too. But yeah, the menus are really extensive. But basically, it's funny because you go in there and there's this sort of old, sort of working class Irish men drinking the pints, and their local pub has just turned into a vegan pub. So I don't know what they think of it. They still go,
Yeah.
but I don't think my granddad would be too keen. But yeah, it's really worth going if you're ever there. But it's you don't really see vegan pubs. You see restaurants and chains that have options, but it's like a traditional pub with all vegan food.
Fantastic.
So I would go there, definitely.
If you're in the area.
Yeah, if you're in South Wales. Old South Wales.
Okay, well, there are recommendations. And at this point, I suppose we come to end the show. You had a good time, Chris?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I really enjoyed it. So we want to say thank you to Gary. Thanks, Gary. Red Eye Studios here in Derby. Gary's really helped us with this podcast, taking it to the next level. So if you have a podcast and you want to take it to the next level, maybe have a chat with Gary at Red Eye. Join the Patreon if you want to get those benefits. If you want to see the back catalogue of full interviews that we've done, or you want to join the WhatsApp chat, that's the best place to go, at the Patreon. And we're about to now go and record Chris and George Off Mic, which is our bonus episode for Patreon members. For now, we will say goodbye and Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Godspeed and cheers.
God bless the
Cheers.
Queen Inn.
I just heard you swallow that wine. It's horrible.
Was it nice? It's just perverts, I think.